Hi there, I'm Gary. Welcome to my channel and welcome back if you've been here before. This is Figure Friday. In today's show, I'm making the gun crews to go along with the limbers of Spanish artillery we made in the last show. The end of it might be slightly controversial, but stick around and see what you think anyway. Now, if you enjoy the video, and I hope you do, please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. The link to do that is that small logo down there in the bottom right corner. You can also like the video, and if you would like to support future productions, you can do that through Patreon and buy me a coffee. Links are in the information box below. And now you can also use super thanks at the bottom of the screen there. Okay, enough of all that. Let's get on and make our battery of Spanish artillery in 18mm. The guns each come in 5 pieces. There's the carriage, 2 wheels, the gun barrel and a trail box that carried sundry supplies such as slow match and maintenance tools. Then there are the gunners. Now I use 4 figures per gun. This represents a gun section of 2 cannon. The figure ratio is not correct. A battery of 8 guns would have around 80 to 90 artillerymen, and that's about half of what would be represented at a 1 to 20 scale that I normally use, but I think they just look better this way. There are lots of moulding pieces to cut off. Even the best moulds do this with artillery figures. Some figures have supports intentionally added. You can snip these off too. Remember, this is a soft metal, so normal model snips work very well. All the figures themselves look very fine. There's a mix of old and newer uniforms, the old short coat and the newer coat tail, and a mix of headgear as well with bicorns and forage caps. The guns go together very quickly and easily with super glue or cyanoacrylate if you want to call it that. Then everything gets a coat of black primer. So with the figures, first of all, I'm going to dry brush them with blue. This is a lighter blue than the uniform, as the primer will darken it to the right shade. And you can give it another quick brush to bring out some blue highlights. Next are the cuffs, which are red, and so are the collars. Then I can paint the cross belts in white. Be careful to check each figure because some have 2 belts, others have only 1, whilst others have none at all. I'm also going to paint these forage caps in white. Then a splash of mahogany brown for the hair. As usual, everyone has the same hair colour. I'll also paint anything wooden with the same colour, ramrods, buckets and so on. Then some more red. I'm going to paint the turnbacks on the long jackets and the edging of the short coats, the sash belts on a couple of the figures, and the edging on the forage caps. Now I'm going to dry brush the skin tone onto the faces and the hands. Now I must say the quality of the models near really helps. But this looks just a bit stark, so once that's dry I'll add a wash of some of that mahogany colour let down with water. It just softens the features a bit without taking away the main shading. These fellows have these gourd water bottles and strings to paint in. I'll use a kind of earth colour. Then all the leatherwork is in black. That means the boots, cartridge boxes and scabbards. Plumes and cockades are in red. Then I'll go over the bicorns with black to remove any spill from previous colours. There's always some. All the ironwork gets some burnt iron, like the trail spikes here, and of course the gun barrels. And this one artilleryman here has a blanket draped over his shoulder, very theatrical. I'll do that in a slightly warm grey. Next I'll add a few spots of brass here and there for buttons and of course for the sword hilts. Then finally a strip of yellow lace along the top of the bicorns, and the gunners are already done. To mount them I cut out some plastic card to 30 by 40mm size and 1 card for each crew of 4. I've marked them out with where the gun will sit at the front of the card. Then I put in 4 figures per card using 2-part epoxy to glue them in place. And here they are, all done. After this I'll add some texture. I use Vallejo acrylic earth texture. This is the brown earth that reminds me of warm Iberian soil. Just spread it on the card and then use a damp brush to push into all the corners, between feet and so on. And the brush can be washed out in water. Then let the whole thing dry. After that I'll add a bit of grass texture, maybe a little rock or two just for fun. Then the gun crews are finished. But what about the guns, I hear you ask? Well, this may be controversial, but I like to have the crews and guns separate. That way I have a total number of batteries, but they can be whatever size I want depending on the gun model I use, be it light 6s for mobile forces, 12s for a grand battery, mortars if I'm attacking a village. This will save a lot of cash, as a crew costs pretty much the same as a gun, so you're halving the amount you have to buy. There we go then, Spanish artillery. Now a lot of people will say you have to put the guns with the battery, other than that sort of restricts how many artillery pieces you have. I think that's nonsense. You know, if you want, if you've got 6 batteries and you want them all 6s for mobility, then have them all 6s. If you want 2 of them as mobile and 4 as a ground battery, why not? Why not have a battery of mortars if you're attacking somewhere? It depends on the game, I think. So as long as they look right, what does it matter? I think it's cool. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to subscribe to the channel. You know the link is down there in the bottom right corner. And like the video as well, please. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon.